We don't want someone who's been through divorces or have been cheated on a bunch of times.
What happened to growing old together?
But the question is, does he want to do that work, or can he just go to somebody younger?
Just pour into her and make her feel safe and make her feel secure in the relationship and not make her feel like she has to stay young forever because it's not possible. All right, welcome to yet another episode of Be Mindful's Real Relationships. Y'all, we have a special guest, but he's been here before, Dr. L. Today, y'all, we have an interesting topic because I saw so many people comment about this is why I date younger women. So I want to talk about the age gap dating from a man and a woman's perspective. So, Dr. L, would you at least like to introduce yourself first before we get started?
So I am Dr. L. I am a retired police officer from Connecticut. Retired after 24 years of service, and then when the COVID hit, I went back to school and completed a doctorate in leadership with a concentration in criminal justice. I started a podcast called Captain Hunter's Podcast, and then on Dr. L's podcast, I talk about relationship stuff / self-improvement. I started off talking about self-improvement, and then the ladies hijacked it and said they wanted to hear a man's perspective about love, relationships, dating, and things like that.
Okay, I appreciate that. And yes, he's a real doctor. So, yes, that's why we're going to call him Dr. L. My first question, because we're just going to have a general conversation about the age gap dating. Have you had any experience with age gap dating yourself, personal experience?
Yeah, so I was married for a long time, and then when I got back out here, I did go on a few dates with some ladies who are younger than myself. I'm in my early 50s right now, so I went on some dates with ladies somewhere, and I think the youngest I dated was 28 or so, or something like that, and that was one and done. So I gotta go. I said I gotta
Okay.
go. I gotta go a little bit older after that. So
Wait. Hold on now. Why was it one and
yeah.
done?
So it just, I'm just looking for something a little bit more substantial, and for me, maturity is where it's at. I'm sure we'll get into it about why people do or why a guy in his 50 would go after someone. Actually, I think when I did it, I was in my late 40s, maybe 48, 49 or so. There's multiple reasons, but for me, it was just a matter of maturity. And we live in this cell phone generation where people can't stay off their cell phones for 20 seconds.
Mhm,
So that was kind of annoying. And then I want to be able to have conversations and talk and
mhm.
things along those lines. And they just don't have the life experience that I would be looking for. So
Did she ask you to do a TikTok dance?
she did actually. Yeah, that's funny. She did. And
I
that
was
was
joking.
that was yeah, that was somebody who was 28, 29, and then even like a 34-year-old was showing me TikTok dances and stuff. So this is, yeah, it wasn't like this was some young, either one of them. Well, one was a spring chicken, I guess you could say, but the other one was in her 30s. So I've dated a few ladies here and there, and I just need something a little more substantial and mature. So
What even attracted you? Okay, don't even say her perky boobs and her big booty or something like that. That you as we get older, yeah, my breasts, don't sit up here no more. They are a little saggy down. So I get that, like the physical image, but a man in his 50s, and when I saw that comment over and over and over again, that's why I date young women. That's why I date young women. So, but what's the main driving force for a man in his 50s to go to somebody who's 20? Not to say that's you. I'm not calling you Chester. I'm just saying there are some out here that goes for
Chester.
19, 20.
It took me a minute to get to Chester. Okay.
But there are some that be going for like 18, 19, 20. And I'm like, what? But what do you think it is?
Well, I think it's both of the things that we're probably assuming. Number one
Mm-hmm.
is the perkiness, as you alluded to, and that certainly was a factor. I think a lot of a lot of guys are trying to relieve that youth. There's a lot of guys who are, maybe they want children, or they're just physically attracted to younger women. I mean, this is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think the other one is, uh, you know, there's a negative connotation or spin that's put on this, but a lot of times guys don't want a woman with as much emotional baggage. And so, yes, and so the common trope is, well, they're young, they're pliable, they're ignorant, they don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And we would call that emotionally damaged, and we don't want that. We don't want someone who's necessarily been through divorces or have been cheated on a bunch of times, or
Mm-hmm.
you name the thing. And so that is a thing. So we want someone who's, yes, more pliable, who's more going to be willing to get on to our program, and all that. So that is a thing. Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Let me just add that I am a woman of a certain age, post-menopausal woman here.
You
But
don't look
I
it. You don't look
Well,
it.
I appreciate that. Thank goodness, right, for good genes. If you can see my mom and dad, my mom is Chinese. They say Asian don't raisin and black don't crack, right? And so my daddy's black. And my parents look really good. I will say I have been out with younger men, so we can have that conversation as well. And as a woman, what enticed me to go out with a younger man? Now, it wasn't like I was just, sitting at the bar and being a cougar. I wasn't doing none of that stuff. It just they didn't know my age. So I have been out with two younger men, and they were very, very good looking men. And I think any woman, if they saw them, they'd be like, girl, shit, I'd have gone too. But the thing is, out of those two men, one, I will say he was young and he was very attractive, but he was very mature. So that made him even more attractive, right? The conversation. The other one, the conversation was younger. It was like, cat, bird, dog, goat. This is like, I you know, and I was like, he gonna ask me to draw. We go to the restaurant, we gonna ask for the children's menu. It just wasn't there. So I get it, but I think there's opportunities also for women. It's not just men dating younger women, but there's a lot of women out here that's dating younger men. And why? And it may you ask me why, let me tell you why. Because we too, it's not the emotional baggage, but we know that just like you guys want the perkiness and the nice flat stomachs and the nice round booties, there's a lot of good things about younger men too. Their stamina. You guys start to lose stamina after you age. Like, let's be honest. You start to lose. I'm not saying you, Dr. L, but a lot of men start losing that. Things don't just pop back up right away, right? We had to wait for y'all the 5 to 10 business days, and by then our moods are gone. We're now tired. Our juices have dried up. Now we gotta find the mood again, and so the mood has left when y'all went to sleep, right? And so that is I'm not gonna lie. That is a benefit of, yes, why women might go with someone who is younger.
Okay, so there's a few things to say about that.
Okay.
First is there's an old saying from the chivalry days that we don't apply to chivalry anymore, and it was always ladies before gentlemen. So you should always, as a man, you should always make sure, and here's where the wisdom comes in that with these older men, and they should know this,
Uh-huh.
is to make
Uh-huh.
sure that your woman arrives first a
Okay.
couple of times before you finish. So,
Some
and
men can't wait.
well,
Y you
you gotta deal with the right men. I don't know what to tell you. And second of all second of all, even after he has, gotten to the place where he needs to get to, he should still stay awake, and then, there's other, parts of his body that can help you to get to where you need to get to. So, that's what I would say
That's
about
true. Okay. I,
it.
I'm just saying, because I want it to be not just because I don't want it to come down on what men being chesters out here, because there are women out here that that actually prefer younger men too. But when we do, you're risking a chance of that intimacy, because intimacy is just not the motion of sex. Intimacy is the closeness, the conversation, the whole thing. What do you think? Because here's my thing, and I'm not asking you to speak for younger women, but younger women, when they start, in your mind as a mature man, a younger woman, what do you think that she's looking at when she's dating an older man? What do you think that she's looking at?
I think she's looking for wisdom. I think she's looking for life experience, for maturity, good conversation, leadership, and some financial security. I think all those things are what generally a younger woman would be looking at in an older man.
I would have started with the financial security.
Well, those are in no particular order there. They're in no particular
I,
order.
okay, and I'm not saying all
Hold
younger.
hold on now. I don't
Mhm.
think that. I'm starting to take a little umbrage here. I'm gonna start pushing back here. I don't think that I, as a 50-year-old man, am really, the bottom of the barrel here, and you only got to come after me for my finances and stuff. So I
No,
think that
not you, boo. No, no, no,
oh,
no. Let me be clear. Not you. I'm saying a lot of younger women. What do y'all think, men? Because I mean, I have my opinion, but what do you, as a man, think that a younger woman wants out of an older man? And when I
I'm
say
not.
older, I'm mature. I'm gonna say mature, mature.
Yeah, I'm not under the impression that if it's me as a 50-year-old guy or some guy who's 25 or 30 on a still playing pick up basketball and stuff, right? I'm not saying
Mm.
I'm no under no illusions that I am the physical specimen that they are looking for. Although I think I'm in pretty decent shape. It's in no particular order. So okay, you want to say it's financial security first, okay, but what is that? I mean, are the ladies who are that age, younger ladies, really? I mean, how much are they really looking for financial security? I mean, what are we talking about here? So
I think it's twofold though. I'm gonna say this. It's not even as a the women. I'm not saying like necessarily a gold digger, but men at their age, I don't feel like they have as many option as I had when I was 20, 22 years old. I just feel like maybe the lack of these men being at a place to where they can financially, because I do feel like women are still grinding, women are still going up and up and up, and so there are some young women are not able to find a young man who, and I hate to say that on her level, but somebody who's financially able to even care for himself fully, have his own house, have his own apartment, pay the bills. And I feel like there's fewer and fewer. Like the men, the young men today aren't grinders like men were 20, 30 years ago.
yeah, so that's really one of the things I started my channel about, was just men becoming the best version of themselves, doing the
Mhm,
grinding, doing the hustling, getting out there, getting the education, not just formal education, but learning to drive trucks or starting a
mhm.
business or going into HVAC or whatever, just doing something.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
my daughter has run to the same thing. She's 26 now, and she's run to the same thing where she's not seeing men on her level, who, even if they do have a job, a decent paying job, they're not interested in moving up the corporate ladder or don't want to go back to
Yeah.
school and advance themselves. So there is something going on. This has been addressed in a number of books. So it is an issue. Yeah, so I get that. So I think that in those cases, and even I have myself had told my daughter, maybe you gotta start going older. And she said, she was dating 33, 34-year-olds. I'm like, okay, well, 38, 39, 40, you might have to reach that. If this is what
Yep.
you're looking for, if this is what you're looking
Mhm.
for, those guys might be established at that age and might be able
Mhm.
to look back.
Men dating younger women, a lot of times it is because her coochie ain't dropped. She probably has no issues with a pelvic floor. Like as we get older, my pelvic floor is dropped, right? And I had to go to pelvic floor therapy for that. But a young girl, things are all still up here, including her cooch. And then she probably doesn't need as much engine revving up. Whereas we might say, massage me, hold me, love me, go in there and wash the dishes, right? Do all these things and then I'll be ready. Or as we get older, right? And
Yeah.
menopause hits us,
Yeah.
our libido goes away. People aren't understanding that, what, damn, maybe we're just tired because we do so much during the day. And then by the time we lay it down at night, we're exhausted. But whereas maybe somebody who's 20, 21 and has been doing TikTok dances all day, and now she has energy to bounce up like a bunny. And no hate on the young girls, but it's just there's a difference in our lives. I'm not when I was 20, 21, yeah, I could do all kinds of things. I ain't that girl no more.
No, I mean, those are certainly some reasons. You talk about the youthfulness of springing back and all that. Well, I mean, the guy is the same way.
Yep.
He's not. Listen, I'm not 25 anymore. I don't have any issues. Let me be very clear about that. I eat well. I eat fruits, vegetables.
That's
So
important.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I stay on that. So I'm good. Believe me, I'm good. Believe me, I'm good. So
Okay,
there's a lot
good.
of guys. There's a lot of guys who don't take care of themselves. So yeah, we're not the same people anymore. I think that we got to recognize some of the things that go on. And yeah, you're right. We got different lives, different responsibilities. Age has taken a toll. So we got to respect that. So yeah.
Now that you dated somebody younger, which one you would you honestly prefer?
I would prefer younger, but not in the 20s, 20s
Oh,
or
how
30s.
young?
Yeah, at 51, I think probably the youngest I would go is 40, 41, something like that.
So you would
Um,
ultimately prefer somebody about 10 years younger than you.
that's what I would prefer. But
Okay,
so now
why?
if uh, okay.
Why? I
um,
ain't gonna just let you just say that. Like, why?
well, because I think that there's some truth to the youthfulness. I still would prefer someone who's. I mean, this is what my preference would be. Now, I'm 51. Somebody who was 48, 49. I want to be older than my woman. I want that. I mean, that's just me. But it's
Why?
48, 49. Because I think that as a um someone who provides leadership, masculinity, all the things that a woman is looking for, I think I want that's what I want, and I want to provide that. If a woman is looking for, they generally want somebody who's on their level or better, education, all these different other standards. I think that I provide that. So why not have someone who's younger than me? And I'm not talking about 30, but a couple years is good for me. I mean, I'm getting older too. I want somebody to take care of me. So I want somebody
Well,
to
wait now.
be there
Okay,
for.
okay. Let's say I was 55, and I don't look my age, but let's say I was 55. So age? Is it the actual age, or is it, because what if I have a youthful personality, which I do? And I take care of myself. Would the age be a factor at all? I mean, what is it about?
No, do you ask me the preference? That's what I would prefer. Now, if a
Mhm,
55-year-old who came looking at like you do, and was very youthful, and we had a good time and all this, yeah, okay.
mhm,
I wouldn't you know push her away. But if it's
mhm.
if the same personality, same body, everything, all things being equal, if it's a 55-year-old or a 45-year-old, I would go with the 45-year-old.
Are you at this? Because okay. Okay.
If all things being equal, if there
Mhm.
was a 35-year-old guy who's coming at you or a 55-year-old guy, which one would you choose? Everything's
It
equal.
depends.
No,
It
no,
it
no, 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 no. There's no depends. Everything's equal. The only thing
It can't
that's
be
different.
equal. It can't be, because one is going to look better than the other,
Nope,
right?
nope, 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 nope. All
I
things are
think it
equal.
depends.
It's-
I'm gonna tell you
you-
from a woman's
I'm-
standpoint. How about from my standpoint? I think a 35-year-old, and I have different. My thing is this: a 35-year-old, his kids might be younger, and then now I
Maybe he
want to
doesn't have
go.
any kids.
I me as me being a now me being a mother to three boys. I don't date anybody that don't have children or who's never been married. Right. So I need, that experience I would say is very important. So somebody who's never had kids at 35 years old, I feel like, have they truly learned how to be completely unselfish? So let's say the 35-year-old who has kids, and I just think that somebody at the stage in their lives, 35 is too young for
Okay, so
me.
45, the same scenario. A 55-year-old man, a 45-year-old man, everything is the same. They look good. Matter of fact, if you're sitting at a bar, you couldn't tell which one was
Oh,
each
then
other thing.
eeny, meeny, miny, mo. It honestly, it would the age I wouldn't even it
But that,
wouldn't
but that,
bother
but
me.
that, right. But that's to you and to women. I think select differently than men, and men are still looking for youth. I'm still a man. I still am looking for youth. Doesn't Now I think a lot of times the ladies hear this and say, "Oh man, I don't want to be rejected because I'm 55." That's not what I've said. What I've said is if all things are equal, and if forget the 45-year-old, if the young lady or is 55 years old and we have a good time, she's fun, she's youthful, all these other type of things, I would certainly talk to her and give her a chance and go out with her. But if she's got competition for a 45-year-old, well, probably not. And that's a preference of mine. And I think that that's a preference of a vast majority of men, is that we're still looking for youth and vitality. I think that women are also looking for that. You still want a man who's a protector and provider. Protection means that you're in some way have a youthful appearance and abilities. That means you have to have a V-shaped figure, be in the gym. So there's I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. So whether you're 55 or 60, take care of yourself, male or female, male and female. But why is it eeny, meeny, miny, moe for you? Why is it me eating? Why is it just a coin flip for you?
Because
I
it doesn't
mean,
matter to me.
okay,
It wouldn't
but
matter 45, 55. It honestly, for a woman, and this is just me, it would not matter. It would
right.
not
So
matter.
so that so that that makes the difference between men and women. I think one of the differences is that women you're right, because you're looking at maturity, his ability to earn. There's all these things that are equal, and men are looking for those things as well. But there's also a youthful component to it.
What is the youthful component, and will you teach her to recognize the signs of a stroke? Like, what is the
Oh, now
youthful
you're quoting Sinbad. Oh, okay.
yeah, so what would you I'm telling you, what the hell is a you I'm very
Why,
curious, like,
why do we got to be having strokes and stuff? I mean, I'm telling both take
because
care of
with age
themselves
becomes there's this whole thing called nurse wives, right? Women don't want to be a nurse wife, right? Next thing you know, we got to roll over, hand you your damn teeth, turn on your CPAP machine, and all that other stuff, right? There's a lot of women that's not signing up for that. But
see, not okay. There's a lot of men that want to sign up for the stuff that you mentioned either.
I know that I know, but tell me what the youthfulness is because you keep saying
Because
youthful. Like, what
right,
makes it youth? What makes it
men
youthful?
men generally want a trophy wife looking type of woman. All throughout human history, men of esteem, privilege, finances, call it what you want, have selected more youthful looking wives. So I think that's the way that has been, and we wonder because we're in a more modern era, we want to pretend like all this stuff is the same. Men and women are the same. No, we're still looking for that. We are still looking for that.
What if a man okay, so here's the thing. I can understand a preference. I really can. I have my preferences as well. Everybody does. There's a lot of men out here that will never get a youthful wife, right? Because their bellies are so big that let's be honest. Like there are some men out here, unless their wallet is fat, besides their bellies, right? There are some men we got to be honest, right? They will never get at the trophy wife. They will never get that youthful wife um that beautiful young lady unless his wallet is fatter than his belly and his penis. Mhm.
That comes with taking time to develop yourself throughout your age, throughout life. And so men begin to hit their strides at 35. They start maximizing their finances, what between 48 and 55 or whatever, some age group like that. Are all men going to all men going to get that? Of course not. I'm not
Hell to the
saying that.
no.
Right.
Hell no.
So should a man who has I think what you're asking me is should a man have unrealistic expectations about getting this quote unquote trophy wife? He's 55 years old, got a big belly, maybe has some health issues. Should he pass over a woman who's 55 in his age group versus the 45-year-old who's probably just going to use him for his money or whatever?
He ain't
Of
got no
course,
money. No, we talking about somebody that when let's be honest. Um, Elon Musk. Looking at him, how many if women did not know how rich he was, how many women would actually be like, "Ooh, girl, he is so sexy." Not many, right? Money makes you attractive. Unfortunately, it is what it is, right? So let's say the average man who makes an honest living. Yeah,
should he pass over a woman
no, no,
who's
not should he pass over. I'm saying he's not going to have as many options. So it's not passing over somebody. It's like you're still searching for something that might not be realistic.
so he should deal with his options. A man
Yes.
in and the man in that situation should deal with his options. And I would say to any man to go and love someone who loves you and appreciates you. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, so that would be my answer. You're a man, you're average man of average height, average finances, everything is average about you. then go
Mhm.
to someone who absolutely loves you and adores you and is willing to build a life and build a career, not career, but a family with you. Absolutely, 100%.
Now,
100%.
shouldn't that though be the message for everybody? Like, as a woman hearing that, like, it is a little. I'm not even going to say it discouraging because, again, I feel like I have a good personality. I do feel like I'm an attractive woman who takes care of herself. I find that to be like, not necessarily anything that a woman wants to hear.
You
I'm
okay,
like,
what is it that you don't wanna hear? What is it? That you might be kept passed over because you're because not you, but because a
simply
woman is a little bit
because of
older?
our age. Just because of our age, nothing else. It's like our age. That's why I was like, well, what makes a woman youthful? Is it just her age or more than that?
It would be her vitality, her yeah, how she looks physically. Yeah, her sense of humor. I would include that. I think all those things can have a youthful appeal to you. So
Mm.
is it so you I mean, I
No, I'm not trying to make you feel bad about your preference. I'm like, but
well,
because I'm
I'm just
trying to
trying I'm just
understand.
trying I'm trying to understand what the stumbling so you again, you're saying I think that you're hearing me say that a woman who's reached a certain age, whatever that is, should be overlooked by the people in her cohort. And that may be the case for some people. It's not the case for me. I don't think. I don't think that I would pass over a woman because she was necessarily older than me. Now, is that is it my preference that someone be younger than me? Yeah,
It's your
but
preference.
that's
Okay.
that's my
That's
preference.
fine,
But
and I think it's typical. We saw that in the Later Daters series that I can't think of the guy, but the one that was in the military and the one right, he went out with the woman even though she looked good. She was in her I think she was in her 60s, the black woman, she looked good, body banging, but he didn't like
well,
the
she had
fact
work
that.
though. Yeah, she had work though. I mean, she was
Oh,
62.
okay.
She had 62 and she had work and she had hair that wasn't hers on her head. That's not what the men are looking for. That's not what men are looking for.
Uh,
It's not.
uh,
It's not.
okay,
Right.
wait. Okay, but wait. There are some women out here that, as we get older, uh, just like men start to go bald, women hair becomes thin too.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
would you be okay with dating a woman that just completely shaves her head off versus a
I
woman
probably
that has
would.
a wig?
I probably would. I probably would.
But, in that episode, I remember he just did not like the fact that she was older. There was nothing else about her that he called out except the
Yeah,
fact that she was older.
this I think is really tough for a lot of women to really get and understand. That men are selecting differently. And I think, and let me ask you this. Do you think that this is coming because women have entered the workforce in mass numbers more and are putting off marriage until their later years, marriage and having babies? And so do you think that they're having a hard time reconciling that they're not men's first choice anymore concerning that? Do you think that that's a thing?
Yes and no. So I'm not okay. So here's the thing. Yes, there are a lot of women who are putting off things, creating families because we're focused on our careers. I get that. And so by the time we are looking to settle down, our options have kind of dwindled. I completely agree with that. I mean, that's just semantics, right? Instead of trying to build and have a family, there's a lot of women who are grinding, but I don't know about is it men really choosing. I mean, you're a man, so I'm not gonna, change tell you that this ain't what y'all doing, right? Because you know what y'all doing. But choosing differently, I just feel like it's more than that because you have a lot of men who leave, they build with their wives. You got a lot of women who been grinding with their husbands since when they was in freshman in college. And then when she gets to be 50 and her boobs start to sag and face down, I guess he starts looking for the youthfulness in another woman. And then he leaves that older woman to be with somebody younger. And it's just like, what happened to growing old together? Like, dude,
Uh, well,
your balls sagging too.
well, I don't know how often that happens. I don't know the numbers on that particular type of scenario. I think that that's probably built up a lot and put out there a lot more than what's going on. I don't know the exact numbers about that scenario, but I can't imagine that it's happening all that much. Most guys don't leave. Most guys don't leave. They're willing to
Yeah, they don't leave. I'm saying they might venture out. They might not be leaving. They be trying to have their cake and they eat it too, you
well,
know?
I would say if you got the if that's the case, you got the money, just get your wife get her hooked up, take care of her, get her boobs and butt lifted and stuff, right? If that's what you want. That's what I would say. It's
But you just said it's the youthfulness. Like, because it
isn't
is a
wouldn't that
real
be the
thing.
youth? Well, we're talking about we're talking about two different things. You're trying to go in these different directions here. You're trying to get me
No,
with a gotcha moment.
no, I'm
I'm
not.
talking.
I'm like, you said, I'm just like, because no, for real, there's a lot of, because there was a lot of comments and then I'm in these Facebook groups with divorced women. It does happen, like, oh, and it's so
What are the
very
what are the
sad.
comment what are the comments about divorced women? When
Okay, that they were with their men. I'm in several groups. They were with their husbands for 20, 30, 40 years
Mhm.
and they left them. The men left their wives after so many years and started a new family or with somebody typically much younger. And I think that is
So
like the lowest of the low.
well, I'm not co-signing that at all. I would ask, what was the relationship like during the marriage? Just because you're with them doesn't mean that they enjoyed their time, doesn't mean that you weren't a nag, not you, but the woman wasn't a nag, doesn't mean that we were constantly having sex, doesn't mean that he was getting the things that he wanted in a relationship. So it could be because of those reasons that he got out of the marriage. And yes, he found someone who was, as I mentioned, more accommodating, more nurturing, more all these different things. And she wanted to have kids, so he pumped out a couple kids with her. That could be the scenario that is going on.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, here's the thing that I think. That
We are listen, I am not gonna be friends. I mean, delete it from your from your phone after this. Do not call me no more.
Here's the thing about that. No, no, for real. I just think that a relationship involves two people. And
Mm,
it goes both ways. I do think, yes, we have a responsibility to try to fulfill our partner's needs, right? We do have a responsibility in that, but we have a responsibility in understanding our partner as well, right? Did he communicate to her that I need XYZ? Because we've seen time and time again, people don't want to speak up. They just think, no, no, I'm just gonna. She ain't doing this. He not doing that. Instead of me addressing it with them, I'm just going to address it in the streets. Like, we can't be doing that, especially if you've been with somebody 20, 30 years. Can the love come back? I do believe it can. I absolutely believe it can. But you two are going to have to get to know the new versions of yourselves, right? You're going to have to be intentional with it. And if one person is not interested at all, the relationship is done. You cannot force somebody to love and appreciate you and respect you. If somebody's acting like that, you have no choice but to leave. You have no choice. Somebody doesn't want you anymore, don't let them tell you twice. Move on.
yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with that you gotta put in the work and the effort, and you shouldn't just quote unquote up and leave, which I don't which I
Mhm.
don't which I don't think that's which I don't
I'm
think
just
is
saying,
going on.
I'm just
I
saying. Mhm. Mhm, mhm.
Which I don't think which I am not convinced is going on to any great numbers. I would love to see the numbers on those. But I just people have their preferences. I'm not advocating for people to leave and to trade in the love of
Uh-huh,
your
for a
life
newer model?
for a
Mhm.
newer model. Yeah, I'm not in favor of that. I'm not in favor. I'm not co-signing that. I'm not agreeing with that. I think I would tell somebody that they're wrong. I've told some friends of mine who are going through some stuff right now, listen, you need to work it out. You made these vows. You are here. You don't want to be like me, and try to do what's right. And you don't want to be out here in these streets. You think it's all roses, and you think everything's good, but it's not. It's not. So yeah.
No, it's not. But I like what you said earlier. Date your options, right? We got to be realistic. Everybody, I'm sorry if a man out here, and I'm not saying that just because you have a big round belly, that you can't get you a trophy wife. But y'all, we need to date where we're at. A lot of times people are passing over really good options because they think that they deserve the 10, but you showing up as a 3.
Do you
Like,
think men are doing that? And I'm being serious. Do you think the men are doing that?
I think
I
both are
I know
doing that. I think
you think
both. I
I
think
know
women are
men.
doing it too.
I th well, I think women are doing it, period. But I could be wrong. But I think that men see who's here and date from their options and would go down in looks for agreeability and cooperation. Absolutely 100%. Now, it's a different question about who they would sleep with, but whether who they would partner up with, marry, there's no doubt in my mind that they would much rather have a less attractive, the scaling thing of somebody who's a 5 or a 6 versus a 9 or a 10 because the 5 or 6 is more agreeable, cooperative, nurturing, etc. But
Okay, I'm agree
have
with
you
that.
seen? Okay.
Yeah, I'm a mother to 3 sons, and, my oldest son and I have talked about that.
Mm.
Now he ain't say a 5 or a 6. I'm tell you, my son said he'll date a 7 or 8, but you know what? He's still young and he looks really good. So, he can say
7
that.
or 8 is still problems. 7 or 8 is still problems.
So but yeah, I don't know a lot of men that say, "Imma date a 5," but but maybe there are. But I think there's a lot of women that we also we trust and believe. A lot of us ain't out here with Morris Chestnut.
Mm.
We're dated men that got maybe 8 toes or 8 toes. Let me say they got 10. Let me say they got 10 toes. I meant to say they got 10 toes, but 8 toenails.
Oh my
I know.
gosh.
I'm just saying though that there's a lot of women that come on now that are not dating. No, LL Cool J. No, come on, and I'm saying older guys because these men are older and more mature, but they still look really good. So there are a lot of women that are dating the 5s and the 6s as well. Yeah, it's
Well,
not just
now because they probably got money. I would assume that, right? I would assume that, or probably spend more money, right? I would assume.
no. I know some women is dating some broke ass men that are 5s, 4.5s.
See, this is what I'm
Yeah,
saying. This is why I gave up because I don't think I'm certainly no 10, but I don't think I'm all that bad. I got my own house, car, financially secure. And listen, I've seen some women out here that are dating some dudes. I'm like, what is this? Right? Beautiful women, and it's just, I don't know. So I just,
maybe because maybe they're hitting maybe it's that, that requirement, that penile length. That's something you cannot see. So we don't
well,
know what it is, right? People date where they're at as well. So, if I am emotionally traumatized, if I am, I have all these whatever these things that are wrong with me mentally because I never
mm,
healed,
mm,
I'm going to be more attracted to somebody who's also on that level. Then I
yeah,
start to, get the help and start healing and feeling really good about myself. Then you will find that my preferences also will go up, right? Because I'm in a better place. So we don't know. There's a lot of beautiful women out here who are emotionally traumatized, who have things that they need to deal with, right? And so we don't know what's going on with that. They may not see themselves as that beautiful queen that we see. They're down here because that's what they think of themselves, and vice versa, men too. I do agree fully with you, though. Men would prefer a loving, nurturing, peaceful woman
mm.
who adds value to his life, right? Would you choose that if she were 55 over somebody who's 45 and maybe brings all of that except peace, or except she can't cook. She burning all the food.
It's 100% nurturing for me. So yeah,
Nurturing.
yeah,
Okay, so it
and
wouldn't matter her age.
no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't matter her age. Well, not that it wouldn't matter, but I would choose. I have certain limits. I don't care how nurturing you are. I'm not dealing with you if you're 85. So I mean,
75.
no, no. I've had ladies DM me too, 75, 76. It's crazy.
They deserve love too.
They do. They absolutely do. I hope they get it. I hope they get it.
Mm.
They do deserve it. They do deserve it. I think
It's
that
so
everybody deserves. I think that everyone deserves love and to be cared for and all that type of
yes.
stuff. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so for me, it's about nurturing, and I think that that's another thing that that the youth would bring in. Well, it's probably not another thing, but let me just reemphasize it again: is that that is what the guys are looking for, and I think that there's when I talked about the life experience that a more mature woman comes with is not necessarily a positive. It may be a positive for the men, for the woman looking for that in a man. They want a man who's mature, experience, leadership qualities, etc. But those are not qualities that men in general are looking for.
You're saying somebody who might be a little bit younger because that she doesn't have as much experience. She's not as jaded, and her nurturing femininity pretty much is her feminine energy is a little bit stronger because she hasn't been in her masculine energy as long.
True. Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
Do you think that men can help women be more feminine?
I think they can. I think that a man who's walking in his masculinity, when he comes into a woman's life who has been demonstrating those types of masculine traits, can can help her to get there. Um, but the question is, does he want to do that work, or can he just go to somebody younger? That's the question.
Mm.
Do I want to sit here and struggle and tell you I got it? Answer when the bartender comes to pay the bill or the waitress or we're negotiating things, do I got to tell you to calm down, or is it just easier for me just to deal with somebody who's knows quote unquote to do it, or to be the
Mm.
more submissive person? Which one should you deal with? Should you, as a woman, would you want to deal with a man and tell him to man up, to pay the bill, to do these masculine qualities? Would you want to deal with that, or are you just going to deal with the masculine man?
I'm definitely going to prefer the masculine man. So I get what you're saying. It may I may not like I may not like what you're saying, but I hear what you're saying and I'm open to hearing. That's why we're having a candid conversation between a mature woman and a mature man. And women may not like what you just said, but it is what it is, right? But here's the thing. As a woman who has battled with her masculine side for many years, I've always been a go-getter, but I wouldn't say I was always masculine. But when you raise 3 sons, and most of that by myself, I was married 12 years, got divorced. When you raise men, young men, I didn't say I taught them how to be a man, I raised men. There's no way in the world you don't pick up masculine traits. Leader in technology, leader in corporate America, you're telling people what to do. Yeah, so I'm not going to be as feminine as somebody who's yeah, 16, 17, 18 years old who hasn't dealt with life. 22 years old, she ain't been through shit. She just now learning how to insert a tampon. So it's like compared to somebody like me, compared to somebody like me who's been through stuff, but I come with a mature woman, I come with wisdom as well. Life may have hardened me, but being in a relationship where that man makes you soft and that man allows you to just be where you don't have to fight. And I'm not talking about arguing. I'm just talking about fighting to for him to hear you. You'd be surprised how soft your woman could be. Yeah, but I hear you. You would have to chip away a little more at that. But you would get a beautiful woman if y'all did put in the energy to find out a little bit more about us mature women who have more experiences that have made us hard. And let's be real, a lot of the relationships we've been in made us hard. We ain't just like come out like Shira. Shit, a lot of men and put us through some trials and tribulations that have made us hard. And then it's like, wait, I don't want to deal with her, but my species made her hard as hell. I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm not saying that at all, but there's a lot more to a mature woman than that hard exterior. Inside of us is a very soft, loving, caring woman. Everybody, honestly, doesn't get to see that side of me. You know why? Because a lot of men don't deserve it. They don't deserve to see the nurturing and the caring. I'm a very loving woman, but a lot of you're not going to give that to everybody because a lot of people don't deserve it.
I hear this. I would say 2 things. I don't know what that's like. I've always I was a police officer. Listen, it's my way or the highway. So I don't know all this. I've never dated a man. I've never walked in my never walked in any type of femininity. And so what you're saying is probably has some truth to it, that if you chip away at it, then you'll probably get this beautiful nurturing woman on the inside. The question you have to get men to sign up for is, okay, I'm willing to chip away at that, or I can just go with somebody younger. And again, if the question is reversed, are you willing to chip away the man's femininity, his lack of command presence, his lack of leadership skills, his lack of social maturity, and all the other things that you look for in the qualities of a man? Are you willing to work with that man and build him up? If the answer is no,
I'm not gonna
I
say
think that
completely.
I think that most women would say no. I'm not willing to do that. I'm not going to help a man be a man.
You know that song? I can't think. Is it Michelle? K Michelle? Didn't she come out with that song? You can't raise a boy. I don't want to call it getting a man to be a man. It's because I don't think that's our role or responsibility. That was his daddy role or his mama role or life role. Uncle,
So why is it
please.
my role? Why is it my role?
It's not your role. I'm not saying you're right. It's not your role. But I think what women can do though is uplift that man and create the environment to where he can be more masculine. Right? There's a lot of men out here that aren't masculine because they don't know what it is or they've never been put in a position to be masculine. And as a woman who's raised men by myself as a single mom, you get that energy, right? That female dominant female raising of the young man. But here's the thing, if you never allow your sons to make decisions, to teach them that they are responsible for their decisions, then they get into a relationship. They don't even know what that looks like because mommy has been making their decisions from day one. You have to allow your children, your sons, you have to encourage, you have to create the environment to where they can be more masculine. And that's what I've done for my children. I've allowed, like my youngest son, he moved in with his father, not because my home is bad, not because I live in the hood somewhere and his school district was terrible, and not because he loves his dad all that much. He wanted to go play football, and he's an hour and a half away from me. He's a senior in high school, and I allowed him to make that choice. That was his choice. You got to live up to it. If things don't pan out, and it didn't last year, right? And it was a struggle. I still made him stay because you make a choice, you have to stand by it, okay? And that's just life. Now, a lot of times, and I've been guilty of this too, try to save my sons, and I know as a mom that's what we do, but we're not doing these young men any justice. Can a woman teach a man how to be a man? No, but we can create an environment to where, baby, you make the decision, or what do you think we should do? If there's a dilemma, I need to build up that man's confidence to know that I believe in you and I trust your decision making, but I need you to believe in yourself. It's not me teaching him how to be a man, but I can create that environment to where he can be one.
I agree. I 100% agree. I think you can and you should do that. You pay, hey, we're out to eat, you pay the bill. Hey, I'm going to get my oil changed. Here, you talk to the guy about this. Yeah, I think that those are things that women should do. And I would hope that they listen to you and your advice.
So, a woman of a mature age, what can she do to
Um,
to make her more desirable if she's not of the chronological age of 25, 26, 27? What can women do?
I think that they can do what the lady did on the show that you talked about, um, later daters, is just be a youthful person, work out, eat right, go to Pilates, Zumba, whatever, have a more youthful demeanor as much as possible. So I think that has a lot to do with it. I would say if they have this hardened exterior, do the work themselves. You can't expect a man to want to chip away at that. And there's the
Mm,
other
mm,
side of
mm,
that
mm.
is saying that what does that say about the man if he's going to put up with this type of thing? Does he have other options? Uh, if he's just willing to put up with me and my bad attitude, what does that say about him? So, eh, I
Well, what
think
does it say about him?
I think it says he doesn't have many options. I think it says
Mm.
that I think it says about him that he does not have many options, and I'm the best that he can do, and he gonna put up with my bad attitude. And I think that bad attitude creates a bad attitude and more bad attitude in a bad environment, because now here's this man who doesn't have any options. Maybe he's limited financially. I can push him around, and it's just going to get worse and worse. And I think that that's one of the biggest things that men cannot do, is allow themselves to be pushed around by their woman or by anybody really. But they cannot be allowed in a relationship and be pushed around and feel like as if they can't make a decision, or feel like as if they are not, quote unquote, the boss or the leader in their relationship. I think that that's a death sentence to the relationship. I don't think a woman can respect a man who she can just be just run over and be a pushover to, or just run over, I should say. I don't think a woman's going to respect that.
No, 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 women are not. I'm just a little I'm just learning, I'm learning and I'm open. See,
Yeah,
I'm open.
I think you're feeling some type of way, Gwen. I
Yeah,
think
I
I need to
am,
take
damn it, I ain't gonna lie.
I
Yeah,
don't.
I am. I'm like, if I could come through the screen. No.
Jesus.
No, no. It's like, well, because I don't want to discourage. My thing is I definitely don't want to discourage anybody. Like that would never be a goal of mine.
The groups that you were in, you were talking about on Facebook, are those women hurt and discouraged because of this type of thing?
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now that
Yeah,
breaks my heart.
absolutely.
That breaks my heart. That does. That does. I don't want that. I don't want that.
So yeah, because we've seen this time and time again. It's not like this is something new where men will go towards younger women and not towards older women. And it's like, but what happened to growing old together? What happened to that? We're both getting older. The calendar just ain't ticking away on my goddamn calendar. It's ticking away on yours too. I'm grateful that my dad and my mom are still together. In a couple of weeks, it'll be 52 years. My dad did not trade in my mother for a newer model. I will tell you that my mom is an awesome woman, the queen of nurturing. She's Chinese, born and raised in Asia, and she really looks out for my father. And I'm like, if men could really see the benefits of really taking care of your woman,
Mm.
loving her, embracing her through her ups and her downs, through her life changes and her aging, men could actually find that there's some beautiful women out here that's willing to ride with you. But if the threat is hovering over us that, well, damn, I can't get older because he wants to date younger, that's not going to make a woman feel good and secure. And that's not going to cause a woman to show up to do any and everything for you to make sure that you're good, right? We're in this together, and I got your back and you got my back. But if if the thought of me getting older because my boobs are sagging, and I'm just, I'm aging just like you, right, is a thought that is eh, creating instability in my relationship. I'm not going to be in your corner to see you through, cuz women do live longer than men. That is a fact. And if you want that woman to really be there for you, just pour into her and make her feel safe and make her feel secure in the relationship, and not make her feel like she has to stay young forever, because it's not possible.
Well, now you don't hurt me. I I don't think that I was saying, and matter of fact, I know I wasn't saying, let me say it again very, very adamantly and vehemently and very matter of factly. I am not in support of men leaving their women and
Mhm.
trading them in for younger models. Um, my relationship broke up, and I lament that very much. But it wasn't because she had gotten older. there were other factors, but
Mhm.
I
Yeah, and I don't
would
think
be
you never said that. I want to be clear. You did not say that you were against men leaving their wives.
yeah.
And you were speaking as a single man
Mm.
out here dating. You would, but there are a lot of single women, and I guess I'm feeling bad for the women who, and I'm aging as well. So it's not like I ain't aging. I don't care what I may look like, but shit, I'm aging too.
Are the ladies who are in those positions, are their numbers limited for the younger guys? I mean, is that causing them to go younger, causing them to quote unquote date out of the race because the men who are in their cohort, whether it's racially in age, are not checking for them in those great numbers that we're talking about? Is that causing them to go younger, to date outside the race, or is it just causing them a lot of grief, or all of those?
I think the ones that date younger, we know there's no future there. Typically,
Mm.
we're not dating younger because there's a future. Now, a lot of times you men may date younger and there ends up being a future because, women typically want to build, right? And create. Whereas women who date somebody who's 15 years, 20 years younger, we're not looking for a future. We're looking for fun. We're looking for a good time. We're looking for a penis that works. We're literally looking for nothing of substance. And that's the truth. Like, why else would I want somebody who's 28?
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you, V.
Mhm.
I hear you.
So we would prefer, it's not the age, but we would prefer somebody who is, got this stuff together, who wants to be in a relationship. I don't care what age that man is. You want to be in a relationship. You want to settle down. You're tired. You don't want to play games. You want to be with me and me only. Then I'm we'll go for that. I don't think it really, whether he's 45, 55, like we were talking earlier. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it's if you're ready to settle down and you are choosing me every day, and I'm choosing you, I don't care how old you are.
There's a lot of talk in the quote unquote manosphere, red pill movement about this kind of thing. And
Mhm.
there's always this gleeful celebration. Um, but I hope that anybody who has a heart would look at your face and see that there's a lot of pain and a lot of ladies. And I didn't say what I said to cause any pain.
Mhm. I know we're having a candid conversation. Hun, I know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, but I hope that anybody who would understand that this is, it's not a joke, it's not funny, and there's celebratory nonsense about, trying to one up each other in this gender war we got going on. There's some real casualties in war,
Mhm.
and I don't appreciate that. And I hear your heart. I hear what you're saying. So
Well, I
okay.
appreciate that. That's why I said I wanted to have I didn't want to have this conversation by myself, right? Because, or even with a woman, because what good is that when I don't understand a male's perspective? But I think that's why you and I have conversations. We'll continue to have conversations, right? On,
Oh, good. I'm still your friend. Oh God. I was so worried. I'm like,
I'm not, let me be very clear. I'm not easily offended. That's why I think it's important that we open the dialogue because I want to that's why I said I want to understand the whole. I saw the comments so many times like this is why we don't want to deal with no older woman, but it's like yo ass getting old too. And I saw it so many times. That's why I said I wanted to talk about it with a mature man so that women can begin to understand where you guys, how you guys think. And then maybe y'all can understand how we think and how we feel. And I think that's important. That's why I don't no divisive content is going to come out of me. I don't think men are terrible. I don't think women are terrible. I think we could do better. But if a woman could just learn how to be more feminine no matter her age, stay in that feminine energy, which is not easy to do all the time, and I get it, trust me. I was in my masculine energy all day. I mean, I'm a leader in corporate America. I'm grinding. I tell people what to do all the time. I'm responsible for a lot, and then how do I switch that off just like that? I think women, we have to do better in learning how to switch that off to save our relationships. I don't speak for all women,
Mhm.
but I feel like I spoke for a lot of women,
Mhm.
not all women, but there are gonna be some young girls that be like, well, that's why I'm glad, but little girl, let me tell you something. Your
Mhm.
ass ain't gonna stay young forever. Chick, you gonna get old too. And age is something that's denied to many. So embrace getting older because it's a gift. But thank you, Boo, for joining another episode of Real Relationships. And if you're listening on YouTube, please do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And if you're listening to some of my podcasts, Be Mindful Relations podcast, thank you guys for continuing to listen and continue to download the episodes. So till next time, thank you very much. And I will talk to you guys next week.